Hello, hi, Hot Corners. I'm very happy to be here with a friend and a great director, Peter Chelsom. Hi, Peter. How are
Hi.
you and where are you?
I'm really well, and I am in Los Angeles, but I would rather be in Italy.
Okay, so we're here with Peter because we want to celebrate properly a great movie, a cult movie for us at the Hot Corn, and it's Serendipity, who turns 20 this year. So my first question, Peter, is let's start from the very beginning. How did you come on board on the project, on the Serendipity?
Well, it was the second of a two-picture deal that I had with Harvey Weinstein and Miramax.
Hmm.
And
That Harvey Weinstein.
that Harvey Weinstein, yes. And the first film of the two was a film called The Mighty. And then I went away to do Town and Country, which was the film with Warren Beatty, Diane Keaton, Goldie Hawn, Nastasia Kinski, Andy McDowell, Charlton Heston, etc., etc.
And many
But
others.
yes, but when you have a two-picture deal, you can go and do another film, but the clock stops in terms of the expiration of that deal. So in other words, Serendipity was sent to me on the very last day, maybe even one day after, of the time period in which they could make me do a second film.
Ah,
So,
okay.
so it came to me. So I read it really not wanting to like it.
And because it was the book by Mark Klein, right? Was already
The,
the book was already out.
the script was by Mark Klein, and but I sat down not wanting to like it, but it completely seduced me immediately. I really liked it. I thought it was very, very light, but most importantly, I needed to get back on the horse because I knew that Town and Country, the film that I had been doing with Warren Beatty, I knew that it was probably going to be the end of my career. So the expression in English is I needed to get back on the horse. Si dice lo stesso in italiano?
Yeah, yeah, more or less, yeah. Se cadi, devi subito, you have to.
Sì, sì.
Absolutely.
But so I did it, so it was very, very good timing. And I said yes. Yeah. I mean, and it was the most fun. It was the easiest film I've ever made because I think I made it easy. It was such a relief after the nightmare of Town and Country, which filmed in the end for 132 days.
Wow. But Peter, one of the secrets of Serendipity I rewatched two months ago is the chemistry between John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale. Where were
Yeah.
the first choice?
Yes, John Cusack, when I came on board, no actors were attached. I knew John Cusack, I'd met him, and also they had come to me with a few years earlier with his film Grosse Pointe Blank, which I turned down regrettably. And when I saw Grosse Pointe Blank in the cinema, I thought, no, I should have done that. Because I was a fan of John Cusack's. And so John was suggested very early on. He was also with my agent. But that wasn't the reason. It was just, I thought he was a very, very good idea. And then I saw lots of people for the part of Sarah. Lots of people. I mean, I remember meeting Jennifer Aniston for Sarah. And I remember she said to me, she came to my trailer when I was shooting another reshoot of Town and Country or something. And I remember she said, I do a romantic comedy every week, meaning Friends. And that she was not looking to do a romantic comedy in the cinema. I remember Carla Gugino auditioning.
Carla Gugino.
Her audition was fantastic, and I got to work with her years later with The Space Between Us with Gary Oldman. So I saw lots of people, but Kate came in. Initially, she read it in America with an American accent. And I said, no, let's now try it with your native accent, because I like people to play, I use the expression, very close to home. It becomes very personal, especially in a romantic comedy. It needs to have warmth. And once Kate read it in English, it was no question to me. I thought it would work really well. It also made her more like an alien that comes in the night to an American in New York. It made her more, you know, like a Martian, like a foreigner to an American. It was sweet. It was lovely. It was very good.
But when the movie was released, New York Times called it cinematic candy floss. But did you expect, after all these years, that Serendipity could become such a cult movie for many, many people and a new generation too?
No, I know, it's crazy. There are so many lists now which list the best romantic comedies ever made. There's one, I mean, I'm talking really reputable magazines. I think The Independent in the UK, it was at number 6, and it was ahead of Four Weddings and a Funeral and big films. You've Got Mail, you know, it's up there. It makes all those lists. And what happened recently, Paramount told me there was this huge spike in viewing numbers before Christmas last year and the year before. It's become a kind of go-to Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie, yeah.
And it just keeps going. I think of course it's what, look, I knew I was making a very light film. Cinematic candy floss, fine. I really don't care, because that's kind of accurate. And in fact, when I finished my cut of the film, the length was something like 88 minutes. And I think it's the only film that Harvey has put minutes back into. You know, Harvey had a nickname, Edward Harvey Scissorhands, you know? And because he cut everybody's films down in length. And I think Serendipity is one of the only films. And I said to him, Harvey, be careful. This film is like a really light souffle. If it plays too long, it will reveal its weaknesses, or rather, not so much weaknesses, but it's just a little quick ride. It's so cinematic candy floss is no surprise to hear that. No surprise.
Peter, did you remember the day and the period that the movie was released? Because it was not no, it was a nightmare. I mean, could be the end of that movie.
Well, it was a very crucial time. There were two main factors. It was first of all, it went to the Toronto Film Festival. I was supposed to go to the Toronto Film Festival, and then 9/11 happened. And the film was supposed to open just after 9/11. And there were two decisions that were made. One was, when do we now open the film? And it was the first film to premiere in New York after 9/11. And I think Harvey's decision was that was a conscious decision from him. Then the other thing that happened was Harvey wanted to take out the shot of the Twin Towers in the film. So there was a big scramble to do that, which I regret now. It's easy for me to say that now, but I regret it, because the film, in a way, was one of many love letters to New York. And I think it would have been lovely to have kept the Twin Towers in. It's only one shot way in the distance in the mist, and I took that out. But we were all of us very worried about the premiere, because we were worried that it would seem insensitive. Yep. You know, when they were still clearing up the mess of 9/11, I think, and we were very concerned about it. But it proved to be the opposite, meaning it seemed to be exactly what New York wanted, the ability to just breathe again and laugh and see something transporting, a light romantic comedy seemed to be, it seemed to be what needed to be prescribed. I mean, it was lovely. It was an incredibly warm evening, so the timing seemed to be okay.
Yeah. What was the last time you saw Serendipity?
Oh gosh, it's quite a long time ago. I mean, knowing I was going to be talking to you today, I was refreshed. No, but I mean, I was refreshed.
On YouTube, some clips.
Yeah, exactly. And also I found a diary, a complete diary of every single day of the shoot. Sorry, wait a minute. Is that? But it's very familiar. I mean, I really do remember it. And
the soundtrack, Alan Silvestri on the score, and the many, many songs in the movie.
Yes, I loved working with Alan Silvestri, and I also had tracks from David Gray and from Nick Drake. I was big fans of both of them.
Wow, David Gray was great, Nick Gray too. But Babylon was in it, right?
That's exactly right. I didn't use Babylon, but they used Babylon in the trailer.
In the trailer.
But David Gray was that very simple guitar track called January Rain, which became almost like one of the themes in the film. But Alan Silvestri is one of the great, great composers, and his themes and his orchestrations, it was a real pleasure. The whole film was a pleasure. In fact, I remember John de Borman, the cinematographer, saying to me on about week 2, he said, "Peter, when are you going to take this film seriously?" And he didn't mean that I didn't do my work. I work very, very hard. I prepare, I'm very detailed. What he meant was that it was like a party the whole time. And also in contrast to Town and Country. And I said to John, John, you know, if you had come off the film I've just come off, which was such a nightmare and so difficult, this is pure joy. And I'm celebrating like the fact that I feel alive again. You know, it was just, and also when you make a romantic comedy, I think atmosphere is everything. You're the director, but it's also like you're the host to a very long running cocktail party, making sure everyone's all right. You know, it's like, everybody okay? Do you need a drink? Have you eaten it's like, did you sleep well? But it's almost like you become that person because you have to, the atmosphere has to be, it has to fizz. So it was really, really good fun, yes.
Peter, my last question is, are you still in touch with John Cusack or Kate Beckinsale or someone of the
Yeah, I see
cast?
them occasionally. I saw Kate only about a year ago, and we were laughing about Serendipity. John, I haven't seen, I think I last saw about 4 years ago. Yeah, I'm very fond of them, and I would absolutely love to work with them again, you know.
Yeah. So now it's time to rewatch again Serendipity.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Thank you very much, Peter Chelsom from Theatre.
Great pleasure.
And thank you very much for that movie. Bye.
Bye-bye. Ciao.